Most African pygmies live in dense tropical forests which lie along the Congo River in Central Africa. If the coming hunt is not successful, the pygmy village will move to a new location where game is more plentiful.
For decades, old travelogues tantalized the world with the story of a diminutive African tribe that hunted and gathered deep in the jungles of Democratic Republic of Congo. Their tribal name, Pygmies, became synonymous with shorter people everywhere. But conflicts and modern pressures, including deforestation, conflict, and government pressure, destroyed their isolation, forcing many of the more than 500,000 pygmies to abandon their nomadic life. Now those pygmies have come to live in settlements adjoining those of the country's dominant Bantu people.
Pygmies live a very insecure life in the Congo. For example, some Bantus torched our houses and Pygmies died. When we go to market, the Bantus will spit at us and will tell us to go away. When Pygmy women want to get their hair done in a special way, most of the hairdressers are Bantu and they won't do our hair. The only Bantu friends that I have are here at the sewing center, but otherwise I don't have any Bantu friends.
Historically, it's said that Pygmies were the first inhabitants of Congo and that they were in the equatorial forest, but now they went to live with the Bantu. There's other people who came with immigration, and they are now together. And when I say together, it doesn't mean exactly in the same village, in neighboring villages. Has the size of pygmies changed over the time? This is a real fact. It means that historically, the size of a pygmy was 1 meter and 44 centimeters. But now we can see pygmies who can be compared to Bantus according to their size. They became taller and strong.
In the past, the height of pygmy men averaged about 4 feet 11 inches tall. However, the average height of pygmies is growing. The Pygmies diet changed when they were forced to move from the forest to the village. In the forest, pygmies had to hunt or gather their food. In the village, they now grow their own crops. Scientists think this new, more nutritious diet is one reason for the growth. Another possibility is intermarriage between the smaller pygmies and their taller Bantu neighbors.
I was going to school, and this boy saw me, and he started coming to talk to me and learn about me. The boy came into the schoolyard and asked me what my name was, and I told him. He asked me where I lived, but I didn't tell him the truth, because then he would know I was a pygmy. He asked me my parents' names, and I did not tell the truth either. My family didn't have any money. I didn't even have the money for my school fees, so I went to live with him, because I thought he could pay for my schooling. I did not tell my parents that I was living with a Bantu, nor did I ever tell my boyfriend that I was a pygmy. We lived together for 5 months. He did not know I was pygmy that whole time. Then his friends told him that I was pygmy. That was the first time he learned. His Bantu pals told my boyfriend that I was dirty, that I smelled, that I didn't wear shoes, and he shouldn't be with me. When the community learned my boyfriend was Bantu and I was pygmy, the Bantu neighbors mocked us. We had to separate. He left me.
What we do not see now is a pygmy husband with a Bantu woman, but Bantu
I
men
did not tell my
with,
parents that I was living with a
Pygmy
Bantu.
woman. This is possible, and some couples are mixed couples.
Because since our culture, Pygmy and Bantu didn't mate.
I found him very handsome. He was a beautiful man. I knew the relationship was not good. My parents didn't like our wedding. My mother disliked him because they were afraid that the Bantus would kill me because I had fallen in love with him.
They refused categorically, but I was stubborn. Really, it was a surprise because we were told that Bantu cannot eat pygmy food. But in the marriage, I tasted their food. It was normal, and our children ate the same food.
Some families traditionally do not want to receive the pygmy blood in their family. Bantus usually think that pygmies are not very intelligent. They think that pygmies cannot rule a village.
Because Bantu thinks that pygmy are dirty, they do not have better clothes. So when I met her, she was not well dressed, but the love pushed me to her. Yes, when I met my spouse, my family rejected me, refusing to eat at my home. Eating now, but before they refused.
My mother began the business of the restaurant so long time. She have the new person for the cook. This person, she's a pygmy. My mother she's Bantu, and then she's pygmy, cook very good, and then my mother like how she work. So she began to work behind house where we have her kitchen. So one time, this pygmy bring the food where the people eat. She put there, and then some people come to eat the food at the restaurant of my mother. Ask the question, this woman cook for you? My mother said, yes, she cook good. The food you eat every day here, this is from to her. What? Why she cook? She's pygmy. We can eat the food from to pygmy. Because these people going to tell everybody in the restaurant of Mama Eva, one pygmy cooking the food there.
Why did they leave the forest and come in the village? It was because in the village there were many resources and modern means for their life. Example, dispensaries, schools and so on.
De comprendre à ce qui concerne ces 4 signes d'opération. 68 divisé par D égale combien?
At this pygmy-only school, the children don't have to buy and wear a uniform or pay school fees. But they are segregated from Bantu children who attend a different school.
Is a good or a bad idea to get a school for pygmies and another for Bantu? For me, it's a very bad idea. When they are separated, this means that there's a fear that pygmies will get many difficulties to integrate the Bantus community once their studies have finished because they did not begin from their childhood. If the current efforts can continue in favor of pygmies, that education and economic services are given to pygmies, I think that they will be a good change for them. Because now some of them are studying at universities.
The Pygmies usually live out of doors, but they build shelters just before the rainy season, which is now approaching. Spring has been completed. It will keep the hut interior dry under the most violent tropical rains.
Pygmy houses are usually clustered in their own villages, segregated from the rest of their Bantu neighbors.
Their village is characterized by these small houses.
Pygmies use their homes for shelter and also for work. This woodworker uses material gleaned from the nearby forest to fashion chairs, tables, and other household furniture. The palm leaves will be used as thatched covering for their houses.
They are obliged to utilize the resources from the forest.
Pounding chili peppers creates a batch of pili pili, a spicy hot sauce that is a local favorite.
Tu es en train de piler pour fabriquer de l'huile.
Buying a new metal pot can require a 2-week round trip to the nearest big city. Instead, Pygmies themselves repair their own worn tin vessels. Pygmy women do most of the farming and walk miles through the forest to get to their crops. The trek to and from the fields can take an hour each way. Pygmies work for the land-owning Bantus. Sometimes they receive food and clothing, but not money, in exchange for their labor.
They finally got some parts of forest which was allowed to them by the Bantus and by the government.
Villagers cut the bamboo, haul it, and eventually lash it together before floating the bamboo to market down the Congo River. Many local churches are reaching out to include Pygmies in their congregations. Pastors here arrive at a remote village where both Pygmies and Bantu live.
Pygmies have got access to the church, and the church has preached equality between all the members. Until now, we do not have high positions for Pygmies.
I met Reverend Maputo and Madame Corinne, who run the center, and found that the Bantu here are equal with me. We drink the same water. We're at ease with each other. I was given a great chance to study at the Sandra Corday Sewing School, and am here now, but other Pygmies don't have this opportunity. I really want to keep studying. My friends really want to study as well. So if I had a sewing machine, I could make clothes for my Pygmy friends and bring income that could help my community.
Think of this log as an ancient smartphone. Talking drums, as these logs are known, can be heard far and wide, even on the other side of the river. This drum has no word for prejudice between Pygmies and Bantu.
Tango